I never thought I would find myself staring at a glowing phone screen at 2 a.m. The harsh blue light illuminating a message that wasn't meant for my eyes. It was a text from a number I didn't recognize, a single, damning sentence that sliced through the quiet of our Los Angeles bedroom like a surgeon's scalpel. Unt wait for tomorrow, my love. Same place, same time. My wife, Sarah, lay beside me, feigning sleep, her breathing too even, too perfect. A cold dread, heavier than any nightmare, settled in my gut. Who was my love? What unspeakable secret was waiting for me in the morning? If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The humiliation hit me first, a tidal wave of nausea that threatened to drown me. 6 years. 6 years of building a life, a home in the Hollywood Hills, a future I thought was ours alone. Now it felt like a cheap set, crumbling around me. I spent the next few days in a fog, watching Sarah with new, cynical eyes. Her late-night work calls became suspicious. Her sudden interest in new lingerie felt like a betrayal, not an invitation. She started spending more time at yoga, her phone always face down, always locked. The strange behavior escalated. She'd leave the house in a rush, a nervous energy about her, turning hours later with a forced smile and vague excuses. I started noticing little things. A new, expensive perfume I hadn't bought her. A receipt for 2 cocktails from a bar downtown on Sunset Boulevard, tucked deep in her purse. My heart hammered against my ribs each time I found a new piece of the puzzle, each discovery a fresh stab. I felt like a detective in my own life, sifting through the wreckage of my marriage. The slow discovery was agonizing. One evening while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed with a notification. I knew her passcode, our anniversary. My fingers trembled as I unlocked it. There, in a hidden chat, were messages with a man named Mark. Can't wait to see you at the Standard downtown, room 703. You looked incredible tonight, my goddess. My world tilted. Mark? I knew Mark. He was a junior partner at her law firm. Smug, slick-haired opportunist I'd always disliked. The messages painted a vivid, sickening picture of their affair, stretching back months. My loyal heart, once full of love, began to crack, then shatter. Sarah, meanwhile, grew colder, more manipulative. She'd pick fights over nothing, accuse me of being distant, project her guilt onto me. You're never around, David, she'd snap, her eyes hard. Maybe if you paid more attention to me. Her words were daggers, twisting the knife in my already wounded soul. She acted as if I was the problem, as if my supposed failings justified her deceit. She felt invincible, cloaked in her lies, her arrogance growing with each successful deception. Mark, too, seemed to revel in his secret conquest, his smirks across the office party feeling like a personal affront. They felt untouchable, dancing on the ashes of my trust. I broke down, truly broke down. One night in our empty living room, the city lights of Los Angeles twinkling indifferently outside. The pain was physical, a crushing weight on my chest. I cried until I had no tears left, until only a hollow ache remained. But in that emptiness, a new resolve began to form, cold and sharp. They thought they had one. They thought they could destroy me and walk away unscathed. They were wrong. I began to gather proof, meticulously, patiently. I hired a private investigator, a quiet man named Frank, who worked out of a nondescript office in a strip mall off Ventura Boulevard. He provided me with photos, timestamps, hotel records, and even audio recordings of their whispered conversations in a parked car near the firm's garage. I installed discreet software on Sarah's laptop, uncovering financial irregularities, small sums siphoned from our joint account, ostensibly for business expenses, but actually funding their illicit rendezvous. I built a case, brick by painful brick, against the woman I once loved. Then came the traps. I consulted with a divorce attorney, a formidable woman named Ms. Albright, known for her ruthless efficiency in Beverly Hills. We discussed every angle: infidelity clauses, financial fraud, emotional distress. I also started subtly leaking information to a few key people at Sarah's firm, planting seeds of doubt about her professional conduct, her ethics. I knew Mark had a history of shady dealings, and I used my own connections in the financial sector to dig deeper into his past. uncovering a pattern of insider trading that had been carefully buried. I wasn't just planning a divorce, I was orchestrating a downfall. The public exposure was brutal, swift, and utterly devastating. It happened in the courtroom, during the preliminary divorce hearing. Ms. Albright, with surgical precision, laid out the evidence, the photos, the hotel receipts, the financial discrepancies, the audio recordings. Sarah's face, initially defiant, slowly drained of color as each piece of evidence was presented. Then came the final crushing blow. Ms. Albright called her star witness, Mark, but not as Sarah's lover, as my informant. Sarah started screaming, a raw, guttural sound that echoed through the hushed courtroom. Mark, pale and trembling, testified against her, detailing their affair, admitting to the financial fraud they'd committed together, all in exchange for immunity on his own insider trading charges, which I had strategically brought to the attention of the SEC. He had been working with me for weeks, feeding me information, betraying her just as she had betrayed me. The smugness was gone, replaced by a pathetic cowardice. Sarah's career, her reputation, her carefully constructed facade, all crumbled in that single, horrifying moment. The judge's gavel fell, sealing her fate. She lost everything. Her job, her standing in the community, her half of our assets, even the respect of her own family. The legal and social traps I had set closed around her, leaving her utterly ruined. I saw her once, months later, working a low-wage job in a diner in downtown Dallas. Her eyes hollow, her spirit broken. She didn't see me. I simply watched a ghost in her new, desolate reality. The silence that followed was deafening, a quiet, cold echo of a life that once was. The end.